What is up, everybody? Welcome back. Let's get out of here, shall we?
About you.
Yes, I'll take this. Thank you. Have to look at our equipment and our trading capabilities once we get out of here. And there was an update. I was right. There was definitely an update. So we meet again, Ulfar Thunderlong. Thorbold gives Ulfar a stern nod and then turns his steely gaze on you. Live long, rogue trader. Business has brought us to your Drekker. The traces of Halbrandt's encounter with Ulfar's rock-hard forehead are still fresh on his face. The young wolf rests his hand on his axe. Greetings, brother. What brings you here? Ulfar returns Thorbold's look with an equally fierce glare. For some reason, he has forgotten his magnificent armor today and stands on the bridge, clad in little more than physical perfection inherent of an angel of the Emperor. To what do I owe the pleasure? Thorbold's face breaks into a wide grin, his affected severity vanishing over space. He rumbles solemnly. Brother Ulfar, you swore that you would stand for the honor of your pack, the Baleful Howl. Did you descend to Euphrates too with your brothers? Did you fight? That world my boots did tread, in fallen halls my victory cry as I roar. The day the Allfather asks for a reckoning of my deeds, I will not be ashamed to tell the siege of Euphrates. Who will bear witness to the truth of the wolf's words? I will bear witness to this. In that battle, there was no wolf more valiant or bloodthirsty than he of the Baleful Howl. Show us the scars, brother Ulfar, so that we may see the mark of your deeds in the flesh. I did not acquire my scars to show them off, brother Thorbold. Show the scars, brother, show the scars! Thorbold's cry is echoed by other wolves, who bang their fists on their armor in time with the words. The ship begins to vibrate. Look closely at Ulfar. Ulfar's decision to appear at this meeting without his armor suddenly makes sense. You are watching a ritual, and Ulfar's show of modesty is merely a part of the performance. I'm going to observe silently. I'm not a space wolf. Ulfar turns with ostentatious reluctance to let the light fall on the fresh marks he received on Euphrates too. He had no idea he suffered such deep and grievous wounds. The crowd erupts in roars of approval. Thorbold raises his voice to shout over his brothers. Did you take a glorious trophy in that battle as a token of your valor? Ulfar removes the horn he wrenched from the Hellbrute from his belt, and you notice that it is already carved with Fenrisian runes. The wolf proudly shows the trophy to his comrades, causing another explosion of cheers. Proudly thunders the Baleful Howl, praise the Allfather for sending such formidable and valiant brothers. Thorbold makes a gesture, and Halbrandt removes a magnificent axe from his belt, presenting it to Ulfar with a deferential bow. Accept from the Stormbiters as gift in honor of the battle that we fought shoulder to shoulder. We got a new axe. Neat. Thorbold, now will you tell Ulfar where to look for his brothers? The wolf hands you a data slate. The coordinates displayed on it are a monstrous distance from the inhabited worlds of the Expanse. I will not stand in Ulfar's way if he chooses to go searching, but, brother, you have proven the glory of your pack. Is it not time to sever this weird thread? With respect, I once again extend my offer to join the Stormbiters. The pack's plasteel marks are resting in Thorbold's outstretched hand. Forgive me, brother, but I must decline your offer. Though my heart fills with the joy of the thought of fighting alongside you. Ulfar draws a knife adorned with scarlet runes and slices his palm. I, Ulfar Thunderlong, swear before Black Mane and by the blood of Fenris that I will not cease to seek my pack until my own eyes behold them alive or dead. I understand, brother. Thorbold signs with regret. May Black Mane run beside your path. Fortify yourself, stoke your rage. I see that your heart is darker than the waters of the world sea, so I ask you, take care that you do not join those of whom we must not speak. So that's it. You're all best friends now? Of course, Rogue Trader. Ulfar is our glorious brother, and any one of us would gladly die for him. Do not seek to understand wolves. Only one born on Fenris can understand the nature of our friendship and our enmity. And the Stormbiters are my brothers. It has been an honor to hunt with you all. Of whom must you not speak? Halbrandt clears his throat and opens his mouth to reply, but he catches the sharp glances of Ulfar and Thorbold and quickly changes his mind. You do not need that knowledge, Atvatar. There are paths in the forest that only wolves ought to tread. Ulfar, give us a look at your new axe. Thorbold grins with pride as he looks upon the magnificent weapon. Our rune priest tempered it in the blood of the despicable word-bearers who fell in Euphrates too. The blade is enameled with bone meal from the tooth of a Fenrisian kraken. I inscribed on it the names of all the brothers of the Baleful Howl pack. Lord Imperium has succeeded. You know that a name inscribed on a Fenrisian weapon can mean different things, but their glorification of past heroes or commemoration of the fallen. Ulfar runs his finger over the symbols, lingering first on the name and then another. You are no expert in Fenrisian runes, but you can make out those two, Arnulf and Skadi. Skady. Thank you for this gift worthy of the Varagir Ironhide. Ulfar tests the weight of his new weapon, and his face bears that satisfied expression seen only on the faces of true warriors who found the perfect weapon for their hands. Ulfar, I see you have decorated your trophy from Euphrates too. With something of a flourish, Ulfar shows you the angular, like graceful script of runes that wind around and around the gleaming horn. When I return to Fenris, I will drink Mjod from this while singing the saga of my march into the Koronus Expanse. So what now? Well, we should probably return to our Drekker. You sense a question mark at the end of Thorvald's statement. Ulfar's face becomes serious, and he gives you a significant look. I can hardly let the glorious wolves of Fenris leave without first treating them to a fine feast. The wolves burst into shouts of approval, and someone with a gravelly voice starts singing a merry song, no doubt about massacres and glorious deaths on the battlefield. The kitchen servants here are certainly no match for those serving in the Great Hall in Fenris, but the masters of the Drekker are not lacking in hospitality or generosity. A small group of space wolves is enough to fill your entire magnificent ship with clamor, shouts, and other portents of the coming feast. A formidable feast in which eating, drinking, and singing will be done the way wolves do all things, to their last gasp. Fantastic. Fantastic. Let's see. We need to talk to... oh no, we don't. We just need to wait for Argenta. We need to go to Footfall. And Footfall. And that's really it, other than that freaking ship battle. Anything new? Nothing new. It's acceptable. That's okay. All right, I wanted to check out selling some stuff real quick and my equipment, so I'm gonna do that real fast, and I'll bring you guys back once we've done that. All right, I wanted to show you this because they went ahead and like decreased like requirements for like levels on the merchants. So we do have a couple things that we can like snag. Like we can snag this. We can get all this stuff, you know, like all this is for us now. All this is for us, all because they decreased like the cost like requirements on a bunch of stuff. So it's actually really awesome. Like I'm gonna go through all this when I get done buying it all as well, and obviously these guys. But let's go ahead and select tradable and trade all of that. Now there's one of these people that I think has a weapon I'm gonna want to use. Is it that? It's either that or... I don't remember. I don't know. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and trade with everybody that I can here real quick. Actually really close on him, and I already did Rizza. But also, along with that, colony management, they update just made it easier to get some of this stuff. So like can't get this yet. We need 41,000 with Fellowship of the Void, so still waiting for that. But on like Kiava Gamma, we wanted the mechanical trade with the Imperial Navy. Go for it, friends. On Veabos, we wanted to snag the Navy Whips. Go ahead and build that as well. So yeah, well, there were things that we could definitely do. I'm going to jump out of here and start heading back toward something new, and I'll bring you guys back once we get there. Instantly something new. Argenta does not try to hide her excitement. Rogue Trader, at last we can speak. The victory on Euphrates II was invaluable in and of itself, but what great fruit it bore. I now know the way to Salus Prime, the planet where the great relic of the Imperium lies hidden. Excellent, we will set course for this Salus Prime as soon as we can. My gratitude is yours, Rogue Trader. Fantastic. Make planetfall and Salus Prime. I'll try to find that, and I will be right back. Your Lordship, esteemed Choir Master Zachariah Weiss is reporting that astropaths have received a signal. It states the following. Arch Mechanicus Hermetico is calling upon Pascal Hanuman. Directive, visit, priority, head of the queue. Purpose, discontinuing the cycle. It is followed by a set of coordinates. According to my data, the lost sacred vessel Hermetico is the flagship headquarters and the last confirmed location of Archimagos Armanaut. I hereby request permission to immediately embark on this expedition. Pascal, why are you being summoned? No data are available, no hypotheses are available. The justification is irrelevant. If the blessed Armanaut summons me, I must comply with the directive. Chart the course to the transmitted coordinates. I am coming, Mentor. So where do we need to go? System Speculo, which is actually right there, so I guess that's convenient. Yeah, we'll do that one first then. Sorry, Argenta. Wait. I'm gonna jump down over here. And then I think I can jump down to here. My lines are a little confusing at the moment. Oh no, we took damage. How's our take that. Nice. So we got 125. Oh, is this already what we have equipped? That's kind of funny. I still wanted it for the bonus. And then we got Navy Whips. And a Craven's Bane weapon. You still need something built on you. Well, we were gonna build one of these, right? Which... oh, we might not be able to ever build this because no holy ammunition and no extractium. How is our security on this one? 2, -1, -2, 0, -1, 2, 4, 7, 10, 9, 11, 10. Dang. So they want either the extractium and ignifera or the holy ammunition, and yeah, we don't have either of those. So the only thing we can build on here is either this or this or this. Which is already perfect. I don't know if I care about getting this. I mean, this would be good if we're not really using someone that does that though. But I don't want to lose the 3 security, so I'm probably just gonna go with the Sacred Flame and call it good. And then the only thing we have left to build is on Janus, and that is going to be the Lost, because yeah, we don't want to do that. It's going to be the Lost, and we need 41,000 with the Fellowship of the Void, and we're not quite there yet. Whoa. That's a lot of dudes. Oh, look at that update, how much better it is now too. It's so good. Your Lordship, hailing the ship surrounding Hermetico's wreck led to receiving the following transmission. We are the Cognizance fleet. We praise the Messiah of discontinuing. We remain in prayer. We remain on standby. Let the cycle to be discontinued. The Omnissiah knows all, comprehends all. We are the Cognizance fleet. Patching one of the captains. It will be done, Your Lordship. Request denied. We're receiving only the message voiced earlier. Pascal, looks like a gathering of believers in discontinuing the cycle. Confirmed, the number of adherents of discontinuing the cycle does not correspond with earlier prognosis. The willingness to declare one's commitment to the teachings of Blessed Armanaut is anomalous. This unit is intrigued. Is there anything unusual about these ships? Yes, Your Lordship, we're picking up traces of recent combat on many of the vessels, numerous traces. Based on the initial radiation background assessment, it appears that an Adeptus Mechanicus weapon has been used against them. I hypothesize that the schism within the Cognizance fleet has reached a climax. My tech comrades raised arms against one another. It is with sorrow that I register this information in the archive, requesting a landing aboard their vessel. Received a standard denial of request message. Your Lordship, what outraged impudence. Let us leave them alone. Alright, well, let's go in, shall we? Your Lordship, according to the ship's registry, we're looking at the Mechanicus Hermetico. We picked up a Vox signal coming from her. Permission granted. May the Messiah of discontinuing reveal the way to a safe docking gate. The raspy voice of the person who recorded the message is vaguely familiar to you, but you cannot put your finger on it. Requesting the right to participate in the first boarding party, evaluating shuttle docking options. Is there a safe docking spot? Not at the moment, Your Lordship. The damage to the hull makes observations difficult, and the surviving vacuum locks are sealed shut. I hypothesize that the proper vacuum lock may be opened using my personal access code. Justification, a message from the Arc Mechanicus. What do we know about the ship? Each Arc is a sanctuary for the Adeptus Mechanicus. Every such ship is a relic. They are incredibly ancient and were made to search for the sacred standard template construct patterns. Legends tell of entire forge worlds that were literally disassembled for parts to make such vessels. In any case, she is a ruin of her former glory. We observe numerous traces of internal decompression, but not a single sign of aggression carried out from the outside. From what it's worth, some of the decks look intact, at least from the outside. We are also picking up strange radiation emanating from the hull. We believe the ship has been in the processional of the damned for a long time. Assemble the boarding crew. It will be done. Yeah, looks good. Pascal's coming anyway. It's hard to leave someone like Pascal behind. Save up and see where life takes us.
I always have a backup plan.
The cogitator screen glows faintly. You take a closer look and realize it has been gutted. Its image replaced with candles that cast glints on black plexiglass.
Let us not dawdle.
I'm registering evidence that a Volkite carbine was fired here. I'm registering a protocol violation. Use of weapons by Adeptus Mechanicus soldiers inside one of the ship bays. These barbarians are pillaging the ship's supplies. I'm registering a Category 9 heresy. The ancient servitor seems dead. The infrequent twitching of his head is the only glimmer of life left in him. The numerous augmetic regalia embedded in the body of the servant of the Omnissiah speak to his high standing and devoutness. Can you activate it, Pascal? Thick Priest carefully touches the servitor's withered body with his mechadendrites. Data spikes slide out of them and sink into the servitor's augmetics. Pascal's vox sounds thoughtful and slightly puzzled. Identify this unit as Magos Logis Hectodon 11. The unit received 7 commendations for advances on astrography recorded in the Fleet Archive. The unit, he liked watching the stars. He called them beacons left for us by the Omnissiah. The servitor gives a jolt, raises his head, and fixes his augmented eyes on you. The large black circles of his visors are cloudy and covered in scratches. A pained moan comes from the speaker on the servant's throat. Unit status operational. Unit identifies itself as no data available. Error. Malfunction. The Omnissiah knows what? Pascal sighs heavily. He is suffering. The unit is long past its operational life expectancy, but the particularly ancient and sacred true flesh it was awarded for its outstanding service to the fleet is still prolonging its years. Do you know him? This statement is false. My archive has no record of any encounters with this unit or any archive requests concerning it. I just know, and I grieve. Pascal touches the servitor's pale skin covered in inky cacography. The tribespeople inscribed his body with the blessed manual of maintenance and repair. Hypothesis. Ignorant as to the true purpose of this litany, they perceived it as a health replenishing magic spell. Tech Brother Hecadon 11. This unit identifies itself as Pascal Hanuman. Can you hear me? Do you know me? Can you tell me what happened here? A jumble of sounds come from the servitor's speaker, as if a very old man who has outlived this faculty of speech. He's trying to utter once familiar words now strange to him. Then suddenly a spark lights up his visors. He utters with a great strain, executing function, all reserved capacities engaged, and executing primary function. Abel? Hello, Abel. Quiet and mysterious as always, Abel Hanuman's demeanor is a mixture of cautiousness and curiosity as he inspects the ship's ruined interior. When you approach him, he acknowledges you by saying softly, "Death's footsteps were heard here." My tech comrade insisted on taking part in this excursion. This is as much of a priority mission for him as it is for me. We are both expecting to meet our mentor, Armanot. You understand what's going on here? Abel averts his eyes in embarrassment and says almost shyly, "A hunt. The hunter is coming." The hunter? The maimed hunter? Pascal places a mechadendrite claw on Abel's shoulder, demanding an answer, and Abel nods. The maimed hunter. That persona occurred in the data I decrypted. Unfortunately, the sum of total of information on it is very near 0. Abel, why did you come with us? The cycle's on the verge of being discontinued. Doubt has opened its maw wide, bidding us to enter. Interesting.
Always keep your eye on the prize.
Save up and see where we're going. Loot. How dare they set up camp right in the heart of the sacred machine? This is sacrilege against the blessed remains. The majestic metal statue is frozen in a menacing combative position. This is odd. I see scratch marks from Servoclaw on this venerable Scutarius' armor. The ancient warrior's flesh was once enhanced with priceless augmetics, but they are now dormant. I'm registering residual traces of paper combustion inside this cogitator's casings. Do they refuel this repository of knowledge?
Get left in the dust.
The bay was breached from the inside. Traces of scaling suggest use of melt-a-charge.
Is there money to be made?
Something simply ordered the spirit of this machine to die. The handprints and footprints indicate that the locals have turned the sacred ungent tank into something like a ritual.
I always have a backup plan.
All right, well, let's talk to these guys then, I guess. What kind of paranoia drove the crew to place the cannon platform here in the very heart of the ship? Now everything is clear. A battle was fought here, and during preparations for it, Armanot declared the observatorium off limits. This cogitator's pattern is so old and sacred, I have never seen the like of it before. I've only heard about them. Fragments. Even the fellow servants of the Omnisci are the explorators. There was internal conflict, and he expected his erstwhile tech comrades to become his enemies. Rare inscriptions of blasphemously profaning the flesh of the sacred machine echo the words of the Requiem of Reverent shut down. Okay. Chief? You've got some splaining to do. The lean, hunchbacked man studies you with a piercing gaze. One of his eyes looks you up and down, and the other's been replaced by a bulking augmetic, ancient and adorned with gold, but is deactivated for some reason. He states in a dry voice, "The ghosts of nothingness have entered the deck of the Action tribe. I greet your tribe. Become in peace." The man shrugs indifferently. His voice is tinged with sympathy. It does not matter. You are ghosts. Take a closer look at the man. The middle-aged man carries a potentia coil on his shoulders after the manner of the tech priest. It is held in place by straps and is not connected to anything. Its weight has given him a hunched back look. One of his arms has been replaced by an exquisite tech scribe augmetic, but the quills and styli are incredibly dull, as though they have been scraped against bare rock, and the limb servo motor is dormant. I totally forgot to equip weapons on, or the new stuff on people if it was viable, the stuff that we bought. Totally forgot. The sight of the mangled augmetics elicits a pained grimace from Pascal. I'm registering evidence of precious true flesh being operated in unacceptable conditions. The markings indicate that this sacred metal was fashioned many centuries ago on blessed Mars. Putting it in such crude and careless use is an insult to the Omnisci. Who are you? The undertakers of the world that expired in the great discontinuing of the cycle, the mourners holding an eternal requiem for the universe. Fascinated by the answer, Pascal says quietly, "Let the cycle be discontinued." A wan, condescending smile graces the man's lips. "It was discontinued a long time ago." "Do you believe the world has perished?" The statement is true. The world ceased to exist a very long time ago. It turned to nothingness, to ashes. All that's left are these ruins, the last shard of the universe, its cenotaph. What do you think destroyed the universe? The unthinkable was wrought. The cycle was discontinued. The tribesman's mind is full of the most unenlightened superstition. Why does this unit seemingly know less than some primitive barbarian? Is that good or bad? Neither. It just happened, but it was a grievous event, and we grieve. Is that why you call us ghosts? Yes. There's only nothingness outside the ship. Sometimes it spits out ghosts born of the world's ashes, and they wander in. The sight of you saddens us, for we mourn you. Alas, there's nothing we can do to help you, since you do not exist. I see. The man sighs and makes a sign with his hand. It is vaguely reminiscent of a tech priest gesture to ward off evil. Pascal, what do you make of these people? Hypothesis. This primitive community is made up of descendants of low-ranking technomats who once served this deck. The name Action derives from category AC Gen. AC stood for Acolyte category, which served the main decks. Gen referred to a service staff who were assigned general, as opposed to specialized maintenance duties. The man looks at you and Pascal with indifference. He does not seem to have understood a single word. How do you survive here, and what do you do? We hold a vigil for all existence, and the spirits of the mechanisms give us water, food, and nutrient mix. We thank them for that with rites of machine servicing and maintenance, commands the great entity. I'm registering multiple deviations from the catechism of maintenance and operation in the actions of these units. Hypothesis. The breaches of sacred instruction do not stem from malicious lapse into heresy. They are a consequence of the rite having been lost in memory. A grave heresy, but not as profane. The voice from the Vox is full of sorrow and reproach. Who or what is the great entity? The supreme deity, the spirit of wisdom and revelations. It bears the name Marnat. The name grabs Pascal's attention. He said sternly, I'm registering a meaningful linguistic pattern. We're requesting all information on Marnat. Marnat is the divine being of great wisdom. It was the great wisdom that discontinued the cycle, and all who have partaken of it lapse into nothingness. We never partook of the wisdom, which is why we exist, and I have nothing to tell you about it, Ghost. You talk to us, your kinfolk do not. Why? I am the Fabricator General. My shoulders bear the sacred burden of leadership. The man shifts his shoulders, bent under the potentia coil resting upon them. The others fear you, as ghosts can carry the living away into nothingness, but I am protected by Marnat's grace. Pascal's roar is like a blarming alarm of an extricator. Fabricator General, I'm registering heresy. The man listens to the tech priest outburst without flinching. The universe must have a Fabricator General, the supreme priest of the Omnisci. There is none other to hold that title, therefore it is mine. You seen anything unusual lately? The echo of an old crime was heard beneath the arching vaults of our home. The tradesman nods at you gloomily. A ghost of nothingness walked among us, of like appearance to you, but without a face. He spoke the words that must not be spoken, and then penetrated the chamber of Observus, and our abode was shaken by the wrath of the gods for days, and we felt as though we were drifting in through nothingness. Pascal lowers his head and says quietly, that is him, my mentor, Armanat. What did he look like? His brow bore the mark of sorrow and past misdeeds, and his voice was like seeping sand. Was he alone? No, other ghosts walked with him, but he alone had a mind and a will. The others did his bidding. What is the chamber of Observus? An abode of deities and mighty spirits secluded from mortals. The man points toward the entrance to the lift shaft. Down this great tube they used to descend to the mortals. Now they have all retired to the house of Observus, the calm and keen-sighted there to remember and mourn the world that once was. The unit is given a distorted description of the observatorium, the bay that housed the Hermetico's bridge. There, under a grand dome of glasscrete, the wisest hierarchs of the Adeptus Mechanicus would spend time in reflection and strive to discern the omniscience guiding signs in the glitter of the stars. Pascal hesitates, then adds worriedly, correction, this data is a hypothesis. An archive search yielded no confirmation of this data. My possession of it is an anomalous cognitive fluctuation. I want to get in there. Abandon this thought. You can't go in there. The great tube was made for the travel of gods, not mortal. Only one who has the blessing of Pref, the great spirit who rules this deck, may approach the great tube. But even such a one will have tried in vain, for the great tube's spirits have sealed its gates and will only open it to those who know the divine word. And the rust wraiths ensure the humans don't steal the word. They'll make short work of any thief. Who's the spirit Pref? The master of this deck, the second most important god after Marnat. Mortals cruelly betrayed his trust once, and he hasn't talked to them or protected them since. Pref only answers the shaman's invocations, and only occasionally at that. The tribesman's profane speculations most likely describe an important machine spirit that remains awake, requesting conversation with his unit identified as the shaman. Divine word with divine word. Words command all of the existence. The gods ruled the universe using words of power. There was a time when mortals too were granted knowledge of them, but that died along with the world. Hypothesis. The term divine world refers to a command litany. A thorough understanding of the situation aboard the Hermetico will allow me to select the correct litany and recite it to the mechanisms that are still operational. What are rust wraiths? The man points at one of the emotional statues, the ancient ones, the servants of the gods. They used to be the gods' great warriors, now they guard the peace of the universal cemetery and see to it that the mortals don't challenge the divine order. The Scutari, the deck guard. These immortal servants are an elite detachment of the crew, blessed with the most ancient and wonderful augmetic enhancements. They could survive in a sleeping state for centuries even. After a brief pause, a whisper comes from his box. Their presence here is unusual. Typically, the immortals only leave their storage chapel on special orders from the bridge. So how did the Faceless Ghost get in? He knew the secret. The spell was not of divine origin, its power surpassed that of the gods. It was born in the mysterious depths of irregularity, and soon after a mortal first uttered it, the world was no more. Pascal waves a mechadendrite at him in annoyed dismissal and says impatiently, the blessed Armanaut can command any mechanism on his ship. This doctrinal heresy uttered by this unit is unworthy of attention. Your guesses are amazingly spot on, Pascal. Tech Priest is taken aback. He pauses to think, then says with no great confidence, the statement is false. Each of the hypotheses was logically deduced from our present situation. I see. Good. Don't seek into the god's abode, Ghost. There's no place for you. Let's take my leave. Farewell, Ghost. I hope nothingness summons you back to its embrace soon. Meet the Pref spirit. I'm assuming that's this. That's my assumption, at least. We would like to go to the observatorium. Request denied. The rattle in the servitor's voice would be easily mistaken for indignation. Access to the lift system denied. Service is in obscuratoria mode. An obscuratoria is a complete ban on holy ministry within the compound. Any and all sacred maintenance procedures are deferred until the ban is lifted. An obscuratoria is declared when the temple has been compromised by suspected corruption before a battle or in the event of a major critical incident. Hypothesis. Obscuratoria was declared ahead of a battle in order to hinder hostile infiltration of the observatorium. Knowing the reason enables this unit to deactivate the containment protocol. Pascal, unblock the lift. Pascal enunciates solemnly, accompanying each word of the Beinhardt commands. As its first pronouncement, this unit declares that no security threat to the High Observatorium is present. As the second pronouncement, this unit orders the operation of the lift system to be restored. As the third pronouncement, this unit confirms its authorization to issue that order. The servitor's jerky movements is accompanied by a shower of sparks from his mouth. His optical visor makes a series of clicks. Unit's hierarchical rank not recognized. Authorization to give orders unconfirmed. Waiting confirmation. This unit is not part of the Hermetico's chain of command. It must introduce itself into the ship system for confirmation of its authority.
Let us not dawdle.
So we need to click something else that we haven't clicked yet. Is it? Yeah, I figured like it would actually be like this over here, but I feel like I've clicked everything.
Or a trap.
Oh, what this?
Always keep your eye on the prize.
30 strength. Wow, and 25 athletics. Wow. You don't say. So, where's this shaman at? Oh, right here.
When the faithful are idle, heresy grows.
The elderly tech shaman looks up at you with them eyes. He smells strongly of exhaust fumes. Have you come to speak to the great Pref, ghosts? Pref will not speak to your lesser tongues, but I can help. I can interpret. Look at the tech shaman. The aging barbarian skin is covered in tattoos of mechanisms, as if the ink drawings of cogs could pass for actual augmetics. Wires and scraps of flex tubing are braided into his hair, as well as shards from a broken data slate screen. Cogitator circuit boards hang on the threads from his large ceremonial drum. I'm registering category 6, 7, and 8 heresies in this tribe's investments. Only enlightened tech priests are authorized to dismantle and interact with the bodies of sacred machines. Then painting the skin in a crude imitation of the true flesh is a profane mockery. It is how I venerate the iron spirits who have done their duty and passed into nothingness, Ghost. I do this in the hope that I might gain some of their wisdom. The statement is false. I'm not registering any veneration. Who is Pref? Our deck's great patron spirit, who protects it and watches over everything that happened on it. Pref used to be the kind father to us until wicked people tricked him. That was when he disowned the mortals who lived here. He wiped the names of everyone who used to be under his patronage from his memory and no longer recognized their faces. Since then, Pref has been a harsh and cruel-hearted master who is deaf to our prayers. Pref. Hypothesis. The barbarian is using this debased designation to refer to prefect enumerator, an especially sacred cogitator served by all of the deck's junior machine spirits. I am registering a category 6 heresy. The tribesman claims to communicate with it. Only enlightened adepts of the Omnissiah are permitted to interact directly with the prefect enumerator. Hypothesis. The part of the legend that speaks of disowning the mortals and forgetting their faces describes the removal of access rights from authorized units. For reasons unknown, the prefect enumerator was ordered to cease accepting commands from outsiders. How do you talk to Pref? The tech shaman raises the roaring mechanical sensor and inhales a lungful of its aromatic exhaust fumes. The tribesman's eyes grow dim and he puts his hands on the drum. His fingers strike the taut synthetic leather with remarkable deftness and rhythm, like this. Pascal frowns and says darkly, I'm registering a category. Blast it. Layman, this blessed smoke is meant for the sacred machines, not your lungs. Then the tech priest falls silent and listens carefully before uttering in astonishment. This primitive melody is a language, our language, a variety of rhythm-based tech vernacular in which meaning is created by the length of pauses between the signals. The Iron Priests of Fenris can speak by hark using flutes, drums, and bone rattles. Some of the rituals they use to appease machine spirits loathe the sound of the vox. We've come to plead for Pref's benevolence. Every word you say is accompanied by a series of quick drum taps and complex, choppy rhythm. Crackling comes in response from a vox hidden somewhere inside the wall. The tech shaman tilts his head and says the great Pref would like to know who is speaking to him. The prefect enumerator is running an identification to the procedure. Given existing data on the machine spirit's refusal to follow orders within the chain of command, I predict the standard identifiers will be assigned a low priority. To introduce yourself, tell him you're the Messiah of Discontinuing. This is Unit Magos Pascal Hanuman. He hesitates a little and adds, some identify him as the Messiah of Discontinuing, although that statement is false. Tech Shaman translates Pascal's words into quick taps on his drum. Its dangling circuit boards jingling dramatically. He inhales the aromatic exhaust of his roaring sensor, listens carefully, and says in a strained voice, Pref asks why he should treat your words with respect and not scorn them. Pascal's voice becomes dry and bristly. The machine spirit is requesting to know this unit's access privileges. It refuses to submit to a stranger's will without a compelling reason. Machine spirits can be capricious and undisciplined. After years without sanctified maintenance, this one may have forgotten all about obedience. Normally, in cases like these, a tech priest would bring the wayward spirit to its senses with a shock from an electrical prod or a blow from a wrench, accompanied by the litany of uninterrupted obedience. I think a show of force is in order to show this machine its place. This statement is true. Pascal extends his hand toward the machine, which envelops in showers of sparks. The crack of the tech priest's armored respirator shines a bright green. There's steel in his voice. My power is my authorization. Acknowledge it or you will regret it, wayward spirit. Wolfar clutches his charm in one hand on his battle-ready weapon with the other. You hear him whisper tensely, Spirit Wolf, shield my soul from the terrors of the warp and the ire of angered spirits. The tech shaman shouts out in fear and shakes his drum frantically. Pref acknowledges your power, Ghost. He does. He asks why you seek his friendship. A pained rattle comes from Pascal's vox as he touches the crack in his armor, which is no longer glowing. He looks as though a sudden toothache, then he says with effort, Hypothesis. The prefect enumerator's request is to be interpreted as, what is the purpose of your visit? Tell you're on a mission from Armanot. Perhaps the spirit knows where he is. I'm following the orders of my mentor, Archmagus Armanot, and correcting a mistake made decades ago. The tech shaman throws up his hands and interprets a volley of crackles emitted by the machine. The great Pref does not honor your reason for seeking his friendship. He wants you to leave. Pascal's vox hisses angrily and he shakes. The prefect enumerator's reaction is anomalous. Such disregard for regalia can only be explained by a protocol signifying an extreme degree of danger to the vessel. It did not work. Can we not go now? Can I try again? Come to plead. Yeah, that worked. That worked. You know the answer. I've come to discontinue the cycle. The tech shaman listens to the crackling that comes in response and opens his mouth to say something, only for Pascal to interrupt him in a tone of authority. The prefect enumerator has stated that he knows my name and is familiar with my power. He respects my mission and grants me a place within the crew's chain of command. Your work here is done, Biharic interpreter. Pascal looks at you and adds with slight surprise. I remember this language now, or more precisely, this unit used to know it. And now it remembers having known it. The tech priest turns toward the wall with the sacred mechanisms concealed inside it and says doubtfully, I'm registering an anomaly. The data exchange deviated from the standard registration procedure. The prefect enumerator was commanded to limit the number of people who have clearance to the issue orders, including even hiring tech priests from other ships. It was tasked with defending the observatorium as if it were under siege. Our mutual introduction rather resembled an exchange of secret passwords. Great. That's gonna do it for this episode, guys. See you
keep my
in the
options
next one.
open.
Peace.